why your addiction still grabs you. I mean, I've talked about dopamine in many of my videos. So this video, I'm not going to talk about dopamine, but I'm going to talk about why your addiction still grabs you. Let me explain. Your brain is split into two halves. Your conscious mind, that's everything you're aware of right now. And then your unconscious or subconscious mind. I prefer the word unconscious mind. That's everything that goes on beneath your awareness. Freud used a great analogy of an iceberg in the ocean. He said if you look at an iceberg in the ocean, above the sea level is the tip of the iceberg. That can be compared to your conscious. And beneath the sea level is the unconscious mind, the vast majority of the iceberg. And that's how it works. So your conscious mind really only has one main job. It's got some others, but let's keep this simplistic. It's only got one main job. And that job is to learn everything that you teach it. I mean, when you're born with an ability to do very little. You know, you can eat, you can go toilet, you know, those kind of things, but it's minimal. Then everything you do, you learn to do. You learn to walk, you learn to talk, you learn to do your shoelace up, you learn to do your buttons up, you learn to brush your teeth. You learn to swim, you learn to drive, you learn to do your job, you learn thousands and millions of things. And all learning works in exactly the same way, by repetition. You learn something, you do it over and over again until you master that. And once you master it in the conscious mind, you get what's called conscious competence. You don't have to think about it anymore. It frees up conscious mind to think about other things. And then it goes to your unconscious mind. Now, once it goes to your unconscious mind, it's like a vault that wraps around it to protect it, to ensure you don't forget how to do it. Let's use driving because most people can drive, okay? You learn to drive. You learn clutch, mirror, indicator, accelerator. You learn a series of different things to master the art of driving. And it takes a period of time. For some people, it's shorter. For others, it's longer. But once you learn to drive, you have called conscious competence. And once you're confident and competent in driving, it goes into your unconscious mind. It becomes protected. Now you can think about other things. You don't have to think about how to drive the vehicle, okay? And that's how it works. And that works very effectively for most things in your life. The problem is this. That conscious to unconscious protection doesn't have a filter mechanism. It doesn't recognize the difference between positive and negative, good and bad. It stores everything you learn in exactly the same way. So you start off by using, and it's usually a social start, okay? And you start using, and maybe it's a weekend thing, maybe it's a Friday night thing, maybe it's a once every month Friday night thing. And then eventually it becomes, going out, using. And that becomes a weekly thing, right? And then you have alcohol. Usually alcohol is associated with it. You have a few drinks, you make a phone call, you pick it up, you send a text, and then it's alcohol, then it's weekends, and they all become protected in your unconscious mind. And then it can become like a Wednesday or a Thursday or a Monday or a Tuesday or every day for some people. Or it can become a binge where you might not use for a couple of weeks. You might do a 2 or 3 day binge. It's different patterns for different people. But along that way, you learn other triggers. So you had a bad day, bit of stress. I use. I had a good day. Use. I had an argument with my partner. I had an argument at work. I got a bonus. I got a bill. All of these things become triggers and they become unconscious. Now what happens is this. Now you've learned all of these things. They're all in your unconscious mind. It's like your brain is like a computer. It's built with certain hardware, but the software you develop. You develop your own software and your brain is running on faulty software. So now it's like driving a car when the traffic lights turn from red to amber to green. And the moment it turns from green, you don't think to yourself, I should drive off. You just go. So what happens is any of those triggers, bang, you just pick up. You call, you send a text. You're at the pub, you're at home, you get it dropped off. What's that about?